Very often, when people are in therapy, they'll use the memory of something that's happened in the past as a benchmark of what's going to happen in the future, or as an interpretation tool, as some sort of oracle about what is really happening in their current situation. Here's a little insight. The problem with that is that our memories are not journalistic records of what has actually happened in the past. Our memories are integrated into the story that we believe about our past. Now that's interesting and important, because if we're measuring something, we need a true measure to know that it's this or that. We need something objective. And our memories are not objective. They are subjective. They are one of the most subjective parts of our thinking. So here's an example of a patient I once had who had an issue. This was not a relationship issue, but it makes the point. Had an issue with her boss, who was a very kind man, a very kind elderly man, who had been in the company for a long time, and she had come into a management position, and she thought he was such a lovely man, and they worked really well together, and they did a lot of change in the company that they were in. But she started to develop an uneasiness around him, and she couldn't understand why she was progressively liking him less and less if he was such a good person and if they were working so well together. It didn't make logical sense. And so when we got deeper into the therapy, she came to the realization, as we progressed through therapy, that he was actually, in some ways, just a couple of ways, a lot like her father, with whom she had a very strained relationship because he wasn't a very good man. And so the emotions that she had around her father started to subconsciously come to the surface and to be present in real time and space with her and her boss, who in 99% of the times was nothing like her father, but in those few ways was. And that was enough for her judgment to start to waver around him. So isn't that powerful to know that? So when you're thinking about memories, understand that memories are very, very subjective, and they're also subconscious as well. So it's a very, very smart thing to do, to stop and ask yourself, is what I'm thinking is happening right now what is really happening right now? And to not demand an answer of yourself immediately. Just let your subconscious sit with that. Because once you put that question into your mind will sort it out and give you an answer back. But it doesn't give it back immediately, because it's still in the throes of that emotion, still in the dynamics of what it's feeling in that moment. So don't rely on memories to make judgments. Just ask yourself a question and give yourself the space for your mind to give you the right answer. Let me know if you've had any experiences like that in the comments below.